The High Style Awards are on in Cork this weekend. It's a huge event each year, and County Meath is going to be represented in the final this time round. My next guest has designed her own dress and hat for the occasion, and I'd say there's a little bit of pressure on at the moment. Is there, isn't there? We're going to find out, because she's a milliner from Ashbourne in County Meath. I'm delighted to welcome Sarah O'Rourke to Late Lunch. You are so welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for joining me today. Is there a bit of excitement and pressure with this weekend coming?
I won't lie, I feel a little bit sick about the whole thing, and my dress actually isn't finished. I had my poor mum this morning sewing it together for me, so I'm not quite there, but you know, I'm used to working under pressure and I will get there.
Of course you will. Now, style is your forte, of course, but the hat is the thing with you. Is it true to say that but for your man Margaret, who's here with us in studio today, this mightn't have happened at all?
Oh, it is true, definitely, because from a young age, Mom used to make our clothes for us, and then she taught us how to sew from a young age, and that's kind of where it all began. I've always sewn, used to make clothes for my Barbies and, you know, the dolls and the teddies, and then that's really where it all began. And if it wasn't for Mom, I never would have learned how to sew. It's an old thing now, because I find an awful lot of people don't know how to sew, which is a pity, because it's kind of a dying art.
And sewing on, you have the machines and everything, and they're all electrified now. I remember my granny with the old Singer, and her with, you know, the leg
yeah,
going
we have
like
one
this.
in the porch actually. Yeah, it's a really old one. Yeah, it's just more decoration now than actual use. But yeah, we have one in the porch.
That brings back memories. The poor woman, how her leg didn't fall off with all that tapping on the thing underneath to keep it wearing along. But here's the thing: you studied fashion in college, but it wasn't your thing, was it?
No, I did a year in Drogheda. It was a PLC course, because I never did art in secondary school, so I had to do a PLC to get a portfolio together to go on to third level. So I did the fashion course thinking, this is me, this is what I want to do. I absolutely hated it. I was like, no, I don't like this industry, I don't want to do it. So I ended up doing sculpture in IADT in Dunleary. And I actually loved it there, and I developed my own type of fabric there. So I had created my own type of fabric medium, and I didn't really do anything with it, I'll be honest, for a few years. And then my mum was going to a wedding, and she said, oh, can you make me a hat? Use your fabric. And literally that's how it all began. Literally.
Isn't that a great story? So you have Mum Margaret to thank for where you are today,
yeah.
and where you've come with this millinery. Materials. You mentioned you have your own fabric. Where do you source your materials in general?
So it's all made out of different fibres. I don't tell people exactly how it's made, because if I did, everybody would be doing it,
okay.
And that's my niche gone. But it's all different fibres, and it's all gathered together to create a sheet of fabric. And once I create the sheet, I can't actually replicate it. So every design is unique to its owner. So, you know, it's a very unique element to it.
USP that you have there, young woman. In terms of designs and ideas for hats,
yeah.
Where does that come from? How does that come about?
Joe, I don't really know. A lot of people ask me this. It just kind of happens. And I think this is from the sculpture element. I'll get an idea and I'll start to design it. And sometimes it doesn't work, I'll admit that. And there's a few meltdowns involved. And it's like, oh, what am I going to do? And I just keep playing with the designs. And then sometimes you have a picture in your head, but it's not quite how it looks in the end. But it still looks good in the end, you know, that kind of way. And I just keep playing around with the designs until I'm happy. I've ripped designs apart and I've made them, ripped them apart. I'm not happy with it. I'm not going to put something out there that I'm not happy with. So I just keep experimenting. And then if I do a competition or a fashion week, then I'll come up with a theme, and then I try to create all the designs around this particular theme. Like for Belfast Fashion Week, the theme was the white collection. So it was just, everything was white. And then I just made a 15-piece collection and 15 hats, and I had to make 15 dresses as well, then all in white, just to correspond with each other.
So you create and you present them, and you mentioned there several of the avenues that you have to display your work. Race days, I take it, weddings,
yes.
Fashion weeks, competitions.
Yes.
That about sums it all up.
And exhibitions as well.
Okay,
throughout Europe and
so throw
Ireland.
that in. So there's a wide area
Yes.
where you can show and bring your product to. Weddings or race days, number one?
Race days, because it's very competitive. Everybody wants to know who's wearing who. Where did you get your hat? Can I wear this to the next race? I'd say race days are definitely number one. Weddings are also, but not everybody wants to wear a hat to a wedding, whereas if you go into the race day, everybody wants to wear a hat.
And it is mighty competitive. I don't have to tell you that the ladies' days are just huge now. So tell me, being a man who knows nothing about this, which comes first? The chicken and egg, I'm going to ask you here. Is it the hat of the outfit or the outfit of the hat?
Do you know, it kind of depends. I have both. Sometimes people get the outfit, and because I make the fabric, then I can match the fabric to the outfit. Or sometimes people will see, I have some ready-made designs as well. They'll see the ready-made, buy the ready-made, and then they'll work their outfit around that. So it really depends on the individual. I personally go with hat first, and then I'll work the outfit around the hat. But I think that's just because I'm the milliner, and I can do that.
You have a bias, you see there, and I understand that as well. But you mentioned there that somebody comes to you, and of course you'll have off the shelf, but you design, of course. Do you take, commissions from people, or people who throw ideas at you and then you try to match that for them?
Yeah, people come to me and get pieces specially made for weddings, races, or even the likes of christenings as well. They can wear a little headpiece or just an event that they might have. It doesn't have to be just a traditional wedding and, the race day. It doesn't have to be that. People seem to feel that hats are just for these occasions, but they're really not. I'd wear them just, happy Saturday, here's a hat on my head. They're not the massive big ones, but, a little piece. And everybody kind of says, oh, hats aren't for me, but they are. There's a hat for everybody. You just have to find what suits your face, what suits your style. There is a hat for everybody. I thoroughly believe that.
Is less more or less? You know what I'm talking about? You're talking about the big hats there, and then you see these lovely petite little pieces that look so well as well. What dictates that? Is it your face shape? Is it the head? Is it, again, back to the outfit, or what?
Well, me personally, I think the bigger the better. I love to be very flamboyant and big, huge feathers sticking out. Classy, of course, but lots of detail work as well. I have some that look like crowns on the top of your head. I have other ones that have 6-foot feathers in them. It's just trying to be different and not look like everybody else's designs, to be honest. I don't want to be the traditional millinery. That's why I have my own fabric. That's why I don't use hat forms and hat blocks to shape the designs. I do it a different way. I'm not going to tell people how I do it because, of course, that's my niche, but I just like to be different.
Now, when somebody buys a hat off you, it is unique, it is bespoke, it's for them. Is it a once-off wear? Really, when you get a hat for a wedding, is that it? Is it put away then for good?
I don't like to think so, because I know for myself, for different hats, for different occasions, myself, my mum, my sister, we've reworn the hats or we'll swap the hats. And I was actually talking to a mum of a student I teach, and she was telling me that her friends and family, she's a collection of hats, they come to her for the hats. So I think there's kind of a bit of swapping as well, and lending and borrowing, and then you can wear it to a different occasion, maybe not in the same week, but you could wear it in, say, January and then wear it again in December if you wanted.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, but look at that swap and move around is a fantastic idea, and it ties in with the new world today of
sustainable fashion.
Yes, now you have it. You're on the ball with that for sure. In terms of materials, you mentioned you make up your own, and that's yours as well, and unique to you, but you mentioned feathers. Are the range of materials really endless that you can use?
They are endless, but I find a lot in Ireland it's a bit more restrictive, so I do have to get things from abroad, or if I'm travelling abroad at work, I will get things there. Or if my mum and dad are on holiday and they come across the fabric shop, dad hates it, but I'm like, get me about 20 metres of this, please, because if you see it for a lot cheaper abroad, of course you're going to get it then. If it's €2 abroad and €6 here, you're going to get it abroad. And just half the time it's even in charity shops. You can find necklaces, brand new stuff, and you take it apart and take the beads off, take the sequins off. That comes back to the sustainable fashion. It's just whenever you see things that you will work in your designs, you get them, because there's no point in waiting. You'll never see them again, kind of thing.
Now, your business is Saraden Designs.
Saraden Designs, yes.
Okay, and how can people find you? What's the easiest way? You have a website?
I have a website, so it's saradendesigns.com. I also have Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and it's all Saraden Designs, SARADEN, and then Designs. So they'll be able to find me on any of those. And
people come and meet you. Have your premises where you display as well?
Well, no, I work from home for the designs.
Okay.
But then I go to I do between markets, fairs.
I see.
There's loads of different avenues. Then
it's expensive to have your own place. I won't even go there with you. But between the online and going to those places, there's ample opportunity, and people can meet you as well. Exactly. You teach with Project Fashion. What is this?
Yes, so it's actually a great thing. I applied to teach with them just for their Navan classes earlier in the year, and it's teaching children how to sew and design. It's all about fashion design, and it's for both boys and girls, which I think is fantastic, because there is a little bit of a taboo about boys sewing and fashion design. But look at the top designers, they're male, they're not female.
True.
So, I mean, it's a great avenue. It teaches them the basics, teaches them a lifelong skill, because then they can use that if they want to go on to college. They already have the sewing skill. They don't have to learn that from scratch. They have a bit of a design background. They've worked with all of our tutors. We've got them nationwide. They're also talented. They all have their own backgrounds. They've all worked in design. One of them used to work on the Late Late Toy Show doing the costumes, so everyone's really, really experienced. And they're great as well, because for the likes of me in particular, they've promoted me for the awards, where another tutor, she did London Fashion Week, they promoted her. So they're a great avenue, not just to promote us, but to teach kids how to sew and show them that the tutors have, a life outside of being tutors. And they, if they can do it, you can do it. You can achieve this when you grow up.
So boys and girls 7 to 14, and I'm sure when you introduce it to them and they get going, it's something that really grabs them.
Oh, it really does. I mean, a lot of them have a flair for it, and they just take to it like that a little bit. Some of them need a little bit more encouragement, but just the avenues they can go down. And then they do a fashion show at the end of the year. All the children from all over Ireland come to a fashion show, and then they have awards, and it's the boys and the girls get to walk down the runway. They get to strut their stuff in the clothes that they've made, so all the parents can see them. It's just fantastic to see the whole thing come together and all the hard work, and it's just great to see it all come together.
You're very happy, I gather, in what you're doing now and where you are at this point in time.
I love what I do. Now, don't get me wrong, it's very hard. There's an awful lot of late nights and early mornings and lack of sleep. It is very hard, and even financially it can be very hard, but I love it, and I know where I have a goal. I know where I want to go. I know what I want to do, and it's doing, because no one else is going to hand it to me. I have to do all this hard graft to get where I want to go, basically.
You're great. And I want to mention also, while you're with me today, Ashburn.
Yes.
It's a big time coming up for Ashburn, because Ashburn 200 is on the way. 200 years of Ashburn. That's next year.
Next year, Ashburn 2020, yeah.
Fantastic. And you're part of this.
I am.
As well.
I'm helping them to organise something to do with kind of the crafts and the art world and make it all combined together. There's no definite plan as yet, because you can understand it takes an awful lot of volunteers and people to get involved. But it takes time to organise the whole thing. But I think it'll be really interesting next year to see all the. Now, it's not just the art element. There's loads and loads of different elements. I'm just this particular element.
Oh, yeah, but you're, art and expression of art and being a milliner and what you do is a huge part of any community as well. And I'm sure they welcome that you are part of it. So Cork it is this weekend, the High Style Awards. Everyone on high dough. What's your gut feeling? How are you feeling about it?
Oh, I'm optimistic. I don't want to say yes or no, but it would be lovely to win. It's just the recognition more than anything. It would just be fantastic. Plus, it's a nice night away. My mum and my sister are going, and we get to get dolled up and wear the hats, of course. Self-promotion.
The big thing, of course. I know, and you can just see it. The hat, it's so important in the overall context of the outfit, and it can make all the difference. And it gives a woman such confidence.
Exactly. I find the bigger the hat, the more confidence I have. I don't know why, but just the bigger the hat, the more confidence.
Well, check this young woman out. Saraden, Saraden Designs. Just Google that. You'll get all the information there. We wish you well in Cork.
Thank you
Congratulations
very much.
on where you are with this wonderful career, and continued success to you going forward. Thank you so much, Sarah O'Rourke,
Thanks
for joining me at Late Lunch today. It's been a real pleasure. Thank you.